I'm here with Cris Jacobs, the Cris Jacobs Band. Cris, you've been on tour with this band for a while now. Are there any cities or venues that you really are close to your heart? You're from Baltimore.
Well, yeah, obviously Baltimore's my home, so it's very close to my heart. Always will be. Anywhere people show up is close to my heart, buddy. You know, that's the way it is for me. I mean, we've been everywhere. You know, we just did a tour with Green Sky Bluegrass a few months ago and went out west in the Midwest, and I was in a lot of cities that I hadn't had much experience in, Milwaukee, St. Paul, random places that turned out to be like some of my favorite shows of the tour. So,
nice.
You know, wherever there's a good crowd, you know, count me in.
Nice.
Yeah.
You don't always play electric guitar, you play acoustic, you play lap steel, you even play cigar box. How'd you get your start with all that?
Just tinkering around,
Yeah.
you know. It's just different music that I like. You know, I started out playing electric guitar, influenced by, you know, Hendrix, Allman Brothers, Grateful Dead, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then dug heavy into like a bluegrass phase, Delta blues, country blues, and saw this cool looking dobro in a pawn shop one day, and I bought it and didn't know what to do with it, and started messing around with that, you know. So it's
Nice.
just,
Nice.
you know, different ways to express my voice. I found them to all have their own little thing.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Hey, we're doing an interview.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Realize.
Oh, no worries. So yeah, oh, all good. So you've driven to Bluegrass, and you've toured with like Green Sky Bluegrass, people like that. You just did New Orleans Jazz Festival. The
Yeah.
musicians that you sat in with during that time, that you
Yeah.
really, your friends that you really haven't gotten to see in a while.
Well, I did a bunch of really cool gigs down there. They were all different, which was great.
Yeah.
First I did a gig with Neville Jacobs, which is my project with Ivan Neville and Tony Hall and Brady Blade and Teresa Anderson, and we had Shira Elias from Turquoise singing with us too, and that was just awesome. That band is such a powerhouse band. We had such a great time, and then I did a show with Anders Osborne, where I did two shows with him actually. One we opened for him when I was playing with Ryan Montbleu, and then I did my own show opening for him solo and sat in with him a little bit, and that was incredible. Anders is one of my favorites. And I did a show. I had never met Papa Molly before.
Oh, nice.
And we organized a show through some mutual friends, and showed up and shook hands on stage for the first time ever. We had zero set list and zero plan, and man, that was like one of my most fun times playing ever. We had such a blast playing together. It was really great.
You just said you just met Papa Molly, first time shaking hands.
Yeah.
Improvising is part of it too. Is there any
Totally.
way you go about it playing with different musicians? Just like, do you email them, phone calls to see their music?
It depends on the show. You know, sometimes we're a little more organized than others.
Yeah.
Like yeah, you know, it's for Jazz Fest we were doing kind of an after party, and you know, it was sort of like a looser vibe, and you know, we spoke on the phone and we both said, hey, well, you wanna write this all out, or you wanna just wing it? Let's just wing it. It'll be more fun. So literally, we went back and forth. He said, hey, let's try this, and we played it, and then we just went back and forth calling out tunes, and we had Brady Blade playing drums and Eric Vogel playing bass. So it was just a killer, man. It was so fun.
Your album Dust to Gold has been critically acclaimed, honestly, and been getting a lot of press.
Cool.
You personally have been Rolling Stone, stuff like that. Dust to Gold, how did that come about, and how did you find the musicians that you wanted to play with?
Well, the band on Dust to Gold is my current band. So we had started playing together probably a year before we recorded the record. So it was some new guys that I had started playing with, and I was working on some new material, and I was overdue for a new record. It had been a few years. So it was great. First time for these guys and I to get into the studio together, and then going out and hitting the road performing the material. It's just been this like solidification of this group of guys. It's been really great.
You also last night played with a bunch of musicians down at Mother's in Baltimore.
Yeah, 8x10. Yeah.
And you're involved in the Everyone Orchestra. How does it feel to play with like those type of musicians? And you mentioned improvise.
Yeah.
Matt Butler improvised everything.
Yeah.
How does that feel with Everyone Orchestra?
It's so much fun. It's what got me interested in playing music in the first place, was that the improvisation, the freedom, the expression, you know, being able to just get up there and jam. And with the Everyone Orchestra, it's so much fun because there's no pressure, there's no set list, there's no rehearsal. It's not my gig, it's not anybody. Yeah. Everybody gets to step out of their own pressure situation. I mean, there's a little pressure when you're on the spot, but everybody gets to step out of their project that they're so emotionally invested in and come together and form this band for a night that can just, you know, do what they do and get to. It's like getting together in the basement and just jamming. And he always puts together such great groups of people. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the more fun things about it is obviously playing, but just the hang with a bunch of musicians that you usually don't have the time to really spend with because you're crossing paths at a festival or about, you know, you just played and then they're about to play. So it's really just a fun hang. It's like a new band for 3-4 days, and then, you know, before any drama starts.
Yeah. You also just played Del Fest, the Del McCurry Festival, in Cumberland, Maryland. How did that feel to be invited to Del Fest, and what does the bluegrass mean to you?
Well, Del Fest is incredible. If you haven't been, it's one of my favorite festivals. It's an incredible time. The Bridge did it years ago, so I was familiar with it, and actually I had kind of it's not too far from where I live, so I had popped in and sat in with some friends the last few years, even though I wasn't on the bill. But yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. But it was so great to be invited, and the people were so warm and receptive. And I mean, Del McCurry is one of the few living legends, I think, of just what, you know, of his craft. And I've loved bluegrass music, and I consider him one of the patriarchs. And so just to be there and be around him and get to meet him and anything that he's attached to is gold, in my opinion.
You said life on the road too. You have a family too. How do you balance family, road time?
Figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
one day at a time.
Yeah. It's new for me. You know, I had a baby girl eight months ago, and put a record out 7 months ago. Okay. So it was you know, here we go. But it's difficult for sure to leave the family, you know, but this is what I do. So it's, you know, we're just living life and appreciating every moment.
Nice. Yeah. One last question. How would you define success in the music industry, if you could gauge it? I know it could be a very long answer, or very short.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be long. I mean, for me, to be able to continue doing it for a living is success to me, honestly, and that's, you know, I would love to make more money at it, and, you know, but the fact that for the last 15 years I've supported myself and my family playing music is a blessing that I don't take for granted. And even though I'm not selling out arenas, I consider myself incredibly lucky. So to me, that's what it is in the industry, is just another day given to be able to go do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I know personally, I've known you for about 10 years now, and you put all your heart and soul into it, and I think that's, you know, successful in itself.
I appreciate that.
You know, all right. Thanks, Cris, for taking the time out today. I appreciate it.
Good to see you, Cris.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah.